Hazleton City Council special meeting will come to order on Friday, January 9, 2015, 15th. Rise for a moment of silent meditation. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Bast?
Here.
Cassatt? Jeff?
Hello?
Roll call. Cassatt?
Are you here? Jeff, can
Jeff, you just say present. You're here.
Hello?
Jeff, can you hear us?
Now I could.
Yeah.
Maybe it's roll call.
Oh,
Just say here.
here.
There you go.
Mope? Here. Sosar?
Here.
Mundy?
Here. First up is courtesy of the floor for regarding the matters on our agenda only.
D. Deacus, Hazleton. I hope City Council overrides this veto tonight because I would hate to see the city having to be shut down. If it is being shut down because we don't have a budget, I will repeat what I said the other night. The mayor should be the first one to be laid off. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're a real professional. You really
Any
are.
other? Okay. Any other comments?
Just it's awful to bit to have the people in the city. By the way, Norman Tarantino, Hazleton. Just that we're just hoping that you guys can come up with some resolution that we have a budget and operating city, because everybody is very worried and very concerned, especially about the safety of themselves and the safety of the city, if we don't get this resolved this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Grace Cuso, Hazleton. It pertains to the override of the veto. I know it's something that most people don't like to do, but unfortunately, you did a good job with the budget. I don't know what Joe's problem was with it, but I'd like to ask you, at least you're keeping the taxes where they're at, to override this veto at this point. I'm sorry, I don't like to see any of this either. I don't like to see these vetoes every year. But I think you put a lot of time in this, and I think you worked very hard, and I give you credit for that. I'd like to see you try to do and put this forth. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, we'll move on. Business at hand, ordinances none. Resolution 2015-1, a resolution reconsidering and overriding the mayor's veto of the budget ordinance 2014-20. Was tabled on 1/6/15.
I'll make a motion to take it off the table.
Second.
Roll call.
Bast?
Yes.
Cassatt? Jeff?
Hello?
He can't hear.
Yeah, we're
We're voting on the motion to remove it
off
from
the
the
table.
table.
The budget resolution of
Just the-
2000.
I can't hear anything if you started.
I don't know what else to do.
it doesn't, that line.
If he
doesn't
can't hear
over
us, he
here?
can't vote.
It's all the way up as far as I could put it.
How about his cell phone, if he would call on his cell phone? Would that work better?
If he would call, we tried it. It's the same.
Jeff, you don't hear that we're made a motion to override, that just to take it off the table?
Jeff,
Hello?
you can't hear them from.
I can't hear anything.
Okay.
Lisa,
You can only.
I haven't heard a thing since we started.
on
Put
the
it by
chair
your desk.
And sit and tell him what we're doing.
Yeah. It won't reach.
It won't reach.
Lisa's going to move closer to the phone.
Okay, okay.
Anybody there?
Okay, can you hear me?
I can see you, yes.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
We presented the resolution 2015-1 to remove from the table.
Could you hear that, Jeff?
Motion to table?
To take it off the
Take it off the
Take
table.
it off the table?
2015-1.
Okay, and it's resolution 2015-1.
Oh,
Jeannie presented, Dave seconded.
oh,
Okay. Bast,
Yes.
Cassat,
we're motioning to take it off the table, correct?
yes.
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 Moak,
Yes.
Sosar,
Yes.
Mundy.
Yes. Okay, now I need a motion to present it.
I'll present it.
I'll second.
On the question,
A few things. This budget, as well as last year's that you presented, both used the stormwater fund.
I'm not hearing anything. I'm sorry.
how about,
I can't hear anything unless you, except for your voice.
can you,
How about putting it on the podium in front of?
how about a chair? Yeah, put a chair over here.
You can't.
Can I call one of the cell phones?
Yeah, try calling a cell phone.
Let me I'll try calling Jack.
Okay.
You're calling me?
Yeah, I was calling you.
We can pass the cell phone around.
Well, no, I could put it on speakerphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to make sure that they can hear, we'll give it to each individual.
Jeff, could you hear me? Well, I can hear you. Good now. Okay.
Maybe if you put it by the speaker.
Okay. Yeah, I will put it by the speaker.
Here, put it by Bass' speaker so he can hear him.
Oh.
Okay, Jeff, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay. Some of the things that I'm concerned about, the sewer transmission fund was used to balance this budget, was also used to balance the budget that was passed last year. Also, in regards to a few other things, the PEL report that we spent $80,000 on had some major impacts if we didn't follow it as to where the city's going to be. And this budget, as well as last year's, I don't think followed anything that Pell had to say, which there were dire circumstances, and we were hiring experts to tell us what we needed to do. And I think that if we keep going down this road, the city's going to be in very severe financial situations in not the distant future, but the immediate future. And there are a lot of other things with this budget that I don't agree with. There were things with the mayor's budget that I didn't agree with. I know the stormwater fee has been a contentious issue for the time that we've had it 2 years ago until this year. But what people don't get at with the stormwater fee is that fee actually actually saves taxes, because it taxes every single property in the city, and instead of having an increased tax rate, it actually reduces the amount of taxes that you do pay. If you would have to pay, it saved people on the previous budget in 2013 probably $75 on a $90,000 home in taxes because of the way that it was set up. So I have reservations about this budget. I had some reservations about the mayor's budget, but I think that the financial house of the city of Hazleton needs to get in order, and get in order quickly for things to be solved. And I don't think some of the things are solvent in this budget that we're trying to override with the veto.
Oh, you done, Keith?
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments? Okay.
I'm fine.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Jeff?
Yes. Can I
Okay.
say something before we
Yeah.
Go ahead.
anything there?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, say something.
Did we get any kind of written legal opinion on which budget would go into place depending on the outcome of the vote?
That's what, Jeff, I was going to ask that. Bob, do you have any thoughts? Or I know it's short notice, and I apologize, but
Yeah, I just want to say I received Councilman Cousat's request for a written opinion.
Can you hear?
No, I didn't hear a reply.
Okay, hang on.
it's pretty sensitive. I think he'd be able to hear it.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I received Councilman Cousat's memo around 3 p.m. Today, asking for a formal written opinion in terms of what budget would be applicable if the resolution on the budget is not passed tonight. I don't have a formal written opinion. I do have some thoughts. If the council desires to hear those thoughts.
You could give us those thoughts, Bob, and we won't hold you to it. I understand you might have to do more in-depth research, but you could just give us your thoughts. I mean,
Okay.
And that's fine.
I believe that there are two sections in the Municipalities Act which are implicated by the issue at hand. They're both in the optional Plan A, which is applicable to the optional Plan B in effect for the city of Hazleton. The first section deals with ordinances generally. It's 53 PACSA Section 3012, approval of a veto of ordinances, which basically says that an override of the mayor's veto of an ordinance only succeeds with a supermajority, a vote of a majority plus one of the members of council. The other section which is implicated is 53 PACSA Section 3016 of the Municipalities Act, form and adoption of the budget specifically. And that section reads in pertinent part, council may reduce any item or items in the mayor's budget by a vote of a majority of the council, but an increase in any item or items therein shall become effective only upon an affirmative vote of a majority plus one, the supermajority. Now, I understand the mayor has a position that if the resolution tonight fails, that his budget goes into effect because there's no supermajority of the council vote, since he vetoed the amendments to the budget that were proposed by council. The other side of the coin, as I understand it, the other argument that council could make and may have made is that the mayor's budget fails and there's no budget, as there was a resolution to amend the mayor's budget, notwithstanding whether it passes or not. I'm inclined to agree with the mayor and the mayor's position, but I don't have a definitive position on it. I'm not willing to commit that opinion to writing at this point. But his opinion seems to make more sense to me.
Well, this is the problem I have with his opinion, is if it was never voted and passed, it never becomes law.
Right.
So how can it go back? I mean, he can't make up an ordinance out of his head and say this is law.
Jeff, could you wait a minute? Dr. Sosa would like to comment.
If I can have the phone over here. And I will be the first.
Hang on.
And on what the outcome of the vote is going to be.
Right.
Right.
If the contention is that I vote no, if the vote becomes a no, it reverts back to the mayor's
It's on the back.
proposal, which is nothing, or if we vote yes and it goes to the budget that was passed by council. I really need to know a definite before I can vote on this.
Well,
I mean, I can't.
Jeff, let me toss this on out to you.
There's no if room.
Well, and I will be the first to admit that I do not have the legal background that Mr. Cohen has. But I have followed government for a lot of years. And here is my take so far. And you can take it for what it's worth, okay? And you can question anything that you want. The city of Hazleton is an extension of the state of Pennsylvania. All cities are extensions of the state of Pennsylvania, and therefore the Constitution of the state of Pennsylvania. Okay? Following so far?
Yeah.
So we follow Pennsylvania constitutional law. Okay? The state of Pennsylvania, like all of its municipalities, must start its fiscal year with a budget and a balanced budget. The state of Pennsylvania follows its fiscal year from July the 1st through June the 30th. The municipalities, on the other hand, start their municipality budgets on January the 1st through December 31st. But let me remind you of what has happened with the state of Pennsylvania. Anytime the legislature has had a problem passing a budget by the governor of the state, it does not revert back to the state governor's budget. In fact, the state of Pennsylvania has no budget when that happens. It doesn't go back to the year before's. It has no budget. If you will remember, 6 years ago, when the State General Assembly refused to pass the governor's budget, even with amendments, there was a 49-day close down of the state of Pennsylvania except for essential services. Now, I will be the first to admit to you that I don't want to see anybody hurt as far as jobs are concerned. I'm not talking about the jobs right now, however, I'm talking about the legalities of a budget. And if we are extensions of the state, then we will follow the same rules and regulations of the state constitution that the state of Pennsylvania itself must follow. And that's the scary part. And if it's my belief that if we don't override this today, we run the risk. I know that we've got to let unions be informed for 2 weeks, but what I'm afraid of is the mayor at this point has, over the last year, no offense, Mayor, but the last year, you ran a budget on what nobody really knows was which budget was being used at any given time. I'm not capable and not ready to go through that again. I think that there are precedents that have been set, and I'm very fearful of what those precedents would mean. So I toss that out as a concern of mine. I am ready to override this veto and put a functioning budget into place. And that's where I'm going to stop, because I think I've probably said enough. But that is a position that I think that everybody needs to take into consideration as an extension of the state of Pennsylvania. Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Hang on.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is my concern. Every opinion that I got today from Harrisburg, from everywhere, says there's absolutely no budget in place if it fails. It does not revert to a proposal. So, I need to know where the city stands. If I vote no, if the vote comes back no, is he going to fight that it's his, or every opinion I got today came back with the exact same thing. There is no budget in place. It happens in Harrisburg, and then there's no budget in place. and we'd have to sit down and work on it.
Okay.
But everything I got was there's no budget in place if the vote ends up no tonight.
Okay.
I just need reassurance that that's what's going to happen before I vote.
Reassurance of what, Jeff?
That it's going to be no vote. I mean, there is no budget. I mean,
So you're saying
unless if he's taking if the city's, if the mayor's or the solicitor's stance is that the mayor's proposal goes into place, I'm making one vote. If it goes like by every other,
well, that's what he just
opinion
said,
I got
Jeff.
today,
Jeff, that's what Bob said. He said the mayor's budget is in effect.
okay, I mean,
So he said that.
everybody I talked to today, I talked to Harrisburg, I talked to the representative, I talked to a few other lawyers. They say no budget goes into place.
If,
Go ahead, Bob. Go
Can I
ahead.
make a comment?
Go ahead.
The only thing I would say is I haven't given a formal opinion on this in writing or otherwise. I'm only stating that the mayor's position seems to make more sense to me.
Until you do more research.
Can I have that one more time?
Go ahead. Did you hear that, Jeff?
I heard something about more research. I really think we need to wait on this. I don't think there's a rush. I think we definitely need to get this in writing. I mean, the way I read it and the way they explain it to me is an ordinance has to be adopted by council. It's not proposed by the mayor. It has to be adopted by council. Like it or not, it has to be adopted by council. It's the first thing there. It has to be adopted. If it's not adopted,
Put the back of it.
The back of it, the back of it.
And
I really feel that there is no rush on this.
Jeff, one of the things that will happen, however, I think I understand where you're at with this as far as worrying about, but without a budget, there is nothing, there is no expenditures necessarily that will be able to be made. I understand that, and what is the possibility? And I think you learned it from last year.
I understand.
I understand
The possibilities and what could happen.
Okay.
I totally understand that.
But what I'm concerned about.
I would rather take that chance than for his budget to go back into place.
Well, and here's the thing that I'm concerned about. I do not, and I will say it nice and clear for everybody here in this audience, I am tired of Hazleton having to be the court case that people have to listen to decide what happened and what didn't happen, and then we become part of the and all the things that happens is that the people of Hazleton expend money to find out what could have been done in an earlier time. Your call is your call, and I'm not going to. I am certainly not twisting an arm here, but I am stating a fact as to what I'm afraid of.
I understand what you're afraid of. I mean, I know. I would like it in writing that what the city intends to do, if there's a yes vote or if there's a no vote, because then that'll make my vote real easy. If it's not, I'm just taking a stab in the dark because I know which way I believe is right. And I know which way is totally wrong. So my vote is going to depend on what the city is going to accept as its outcome. And I really, I need their outcomes in writing. The city plans to do this if there's a no vote, and I need to know if the city's going to do that if there's a yes vote.
You mean a yes to
And I
override?
understand that the city could shut down. I understand all that could happen. But it's not a gamble that I'm willing to take. I think we've got to settle this problem once and for all, and it's going to happen again next year. And it's going to, and it's not right to just keep doing this every year. This is the third out of fifth year that we had a problem with the budget. I mean, we've got to take a stand somewhere. It's got to be settled. So I need to know what the city's outcomes is, if there's a yes vote or if there's a no vote.
Jeff, this is what we were trying to do with the vote. Take a stance one way or the other.
Okay, but you're not going to like my vote then.
We keep going into negotiations. We saw where that left us last year.
I need to know what the city's absolute stance is going to be if the vote ends in a yes and if it ends in a no.
You mean a yes for an override or a no for an override? that what you want to know?
Yes, I need to know the official stance of the city if the outcome is a yes or if it's a no on the override.
Well, for now, what Bob's saying is, and it's what he believes.
But once this vote is over, it's over.
Well, Bob's saying that he believes that the mayor's budget would be in effect.
I would like to force him to put that in writing. There's no
Well,
case law.
he's gonna do more research, and he just got it today.
Again, if I just
Then we
could,
have to table this.
could I make a response
Go ahead,
again?
Bob. Go ahead, Bob.
I'm not making a formal opinion here tonight in writing. I certainly am not.
Yeah,
I am only giving you my initial inclination, notwithstanding what I'm just saying. Even
Now
Go
wait.
ahead.
even if I were to put,
Yeah. Go ahead.
even if I were to issue a
The other way.
formal
The other way,
written opinion, one way or another, I don't think that's binding on the city necessarily. That's only my opinion. I can't make the mayor or council do anything. I can only render my legal opinion.
What I was told today when I called Harrisburg is the only way it could be legally decided, because you are rendering an opinion, is by the court.
Absolutely, that's exactly what it says. Because ultimately, it comes down to the decision of the city solicitor. So I need that in writing.
I beg to differ. I don't believe my opinion in writing is binding on anybody. I think the court, if it issues a court order, is certainly binding. But my opinion is an opinion only.
Agreed. You know, we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. The only thing
Okay. Where are we going from here now, Jeff?
I'd like to make a motion to table it.
Joe, Dave, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, the answer comes really down to one question, and that, Mr. Mayor, is if we override your veto, what's your intentions? What's your intentions? Right now, I think Mr. Cassatt, more importantly than anybody else, is really asking that question. What are you going to do?
No, he said, what is the city?
No, what are you going to do?
What is the city going to do? First,
You represent the city as the mayor. What are you
let
going
me,
to do?
Let me just say, first of all, there's a procedure in place to have a budget. Not that you're saying there is no budget. The procedure starts out November 1st when we give you.
I'm not hearing anything if anybody's talking.
Now wait.
Okay.
Now wait.
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Jeff, can you hear me?
The other side.
Gone.
Hey,
The
he can hear
backside.
you.
Backside.
Yeah, he
Flip side,
can
flip it
hear you. It's the
No,
front.
he's gone. Jeff?
Yes,
Okay,
Okay,
he can hear
can
you.
you hear me?
yes.
All right. My opinion is, and this is why I say this, there's a long procedure that is done to formulate a budget. And that starts when we present you with a budget in the format that you designed. We give you that budget. You look at it. You have the right to change it. You can deduct all you want, but when you add on, you have to have a majority. That's fine. Once you get done with that, then I have an option to look at it and say, I don't like that, and I can veto it. But the process is going on to formulate a budget. Now, you, on your first reading, presented my budget. So, right. Now, you made amendments on your second reading.
No, we amended it on the
We
first
also
reading.
made
No.
amendments on the first reading.
Only one item.
But it was amended. So
But
that
it was,
changed
doesn't
the
matter. It doesn't matter. It's a budget of mine, and you amended it. So now, when I voted your amendments down, where does it go? It goes back to the original budget. We're not talking about $1 million here. You know, the budgets aren't that far off.
No, I understand that, but it's not.
Right.
It doesn't become an ordinance until it passes by council.
Well, you did set a date for it to go into effect. If you remember, November 20th, you put it down that it would go into effect December 11th. And you have to do that. You have to state a date. Why would you have to state a date for it to go into effect?
I understood.
Okay.
Period starts on January 1.
An advertisement that went into the newspaper that may have been. I would like to hear that in the minutes where the council actually stated it.
Okay.
And it wasn't just a typographical error on the clerk.
No, it wasn't. But it doesn't matter. No, wait, Jeff. It doesn't matter because no matter what you say, it can't be any later than December 31st. December 31st has passed. This budget is going to go in effect if you override my veto or not.
Okay, that's,
Which budget?
The budget that's presented. If you override my veto, it goes into effect. But if you don't override my veto, you lose those amendments.
It does not. It doesn't.
You lost me.
no,
If I override your veto, if I do override the veto, what happens?
If you override my veto, the budget you presented goes into effect.
The one that they passed on 12/30.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if I say if the vote comes back no, which version goes into place?
The original proposed budget.
The one that was presented, the original
Right.
presentation.
Right.
Dr. Sosar wants to say something.
That's the stance you're taking.
This,
Is
Yeah,
that, wait,
yeah, that's what he said.
is that the stance you're
Yeah,
taking?
Joe.
Yes.
That's the stance he's taking, okay?
So he's saying if the budget, if it comes back no, it's going to be the 5.6 mil budget.
If we do an override or we don't? What do you
No,
say?
if the vote goes back no,
And the
he's
mayor,
saying the 5.6 mil goes into effect.
the 5.6 would be the mayor's original budget.
If that's the original, I don't
Is that the mayor's
not-
original
I'm not
budget?
gonna
Is that what
quote.
you're asking?
present it.
Yes. If we don't do the override, the mayor's original budget is his contention, the one he proposed to council in November, his contention is it goes into effect.
And that has the police tax in, and it has the stormwater fee.
Right.
And if the vote comes back yes, he's going to go with the 12/30 budget.
Ours, with the amendments. Are you ready, ready to make a vote?
Okay, wait, Dr. Sosar wants to say something. Give it,
You can make a motion to table.
He wants to make a
Tell him to
motion.
make a motion to table.
okay.
Well, you know what, Jeff?
Make a second.
Jeff, I've got one
We
last
weren't done with this.
One last thing to say, and again, let me go back to the Pennsylvania State Constitution. The governor of the state of Pennsylvania starts his process in February, which sounds like it's quite early as well, but remember, they pass theirs by June. The budget message is given and it's written up by February. That leaves the General Assembly March and April, usually to discuss it, which they very seldom do, which means that they bring it together at the end of May and June, and they have altered tremendously the budget that the governor of the state of Pennsylvania always puts forth. As does in the national government. And the national government hasn't had budget, so let's not worry even about that. But the reason why they're able to do what they do is because they have what's called continuing resolutions. So we're going to throw them out. But we are an extension of the state of Pennsylvania and the state constitution. We have followed our process just like the state of Pennsylvania follows their process. It is the governing body. It is the General Assembly. In this case, it is the council which has the last say on how they will alter, how they will create what the budget is actually going to include or not include. That is the way that the system works. That is the way that you will read about it. And beyond that, again, I'm going to stop. I'm going to pass the phone over to Jackie, and you can do what you want to after this.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I believe the mayor could be wrong with that his goes into effect, and I would like the opportunity to find out for sure.
To make a
But
motion
I mean,
to table.
Make
a motion to
I'd
table.
really like it. I'd like a couple more days to. I believe the mayor to be wrong that his proposal goes into effect by a no.
Come on, Keith, second it.
Okay, you made a motion to table, Jeff?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay,
I have a question. Can we?
No, it's
we have to
our-
vote
we
on
have
it.
to
We have
vote.
to vote.
Yeah, but it's a
We
question
have to
on the
vote.
motion to table.
You can't, we have to have a vote.
All right.
Roll
Bast,
Yes.
Cassatt,
Yes.
We can't override after.
Mope,
call. No, it's the vote, this is the table.
I know.
No,
This is the table.
Yeah, this is the table.
Mope,
no.
Sosar,
No.
Mundy.
No. Okay, it's back on the floor, Jeff. We're gonna vote on it.
Okay. Just let me make sure I'm understanding this, Jeff.
Okay.
If the vote comes back no, it's going back to the original proposal that has the police tax in.
Yes.
If the vote goes
Yes.
yes, it goes to your budget, 1230, the
Our
one that was
budget,
passed
yeah.
on 1230.
Council's amended
Am I
budget. Yeah.
I'm positive I'm understanding that correctly?
That's that's our contention, but like I said,
And is that what the mayor contends?
Is that, Joe,
Yeah.
is that your contention that it goes
That's-
back to the one
I'm
with the police
understanding it
tax in
correctly.
and
There's
everything
no
else?
in-between. There's
But we didn't
there's
put-
no
we-
outcome that brings us to no budget. Is that what everybody's in contention with?
We're just saying that
There is no budget.
if we override the mayor's veto, our budget goes into effect, the one that we passed on December 30th. If we don't override the mayor's veto, the mayor's contention
Is
is
his
that
budget.
his proposal goes into effect with the tax increase and the stormwater fee. These are our two options.
No, okay. I just want to. I believe him to be wrong. But if he's taking that stance, then I'm ready.
Okay.
okay.
Mayor, can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Ask me something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The budget that you believe to be in place, does that include
I
the
can't
police?
hear him.
Okay.
Wait a
Go
minute,
ahead.
wait a minute.
Go ahead.
The budget that you believe to be in place, is that the one with the police tax in, et cetera? But the police tax, wasn't that voted down?
No. That was
taken-
amended. The
That was
budget-
amended and taken out.
That was just amended,
Okay,
right, so
Wait,
that would fail.
it's,
okay. What's that?
That would fail.
The police tax would fail?
Yeah, you guys amended it to eliminate it. but-
So it would be your budget with just the 0.16 mil, Joe, tax increase.
no, he's saying
No.
it goes back
Goes
to
back
his
to the-
original.
Goes back to your
proposed.
original budget? Okay,
Okay.
Yeah, because that's a part of the whole amended budget.
Understanding that correctly?
Yeah, but
Yes,
we-
you are,
but
Jeff.
we didn't,
That
but Joe.
that it
we
goes
di-
back to his original, that's what his contention is, that it goes back to his original budget.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll call, Lisa.
Yeah, roll call. Lisa.
Bast,
No.
Cassatt,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Sosar,
Yes.
Mundy.
Yes. Next is Resolution 2015-2,
Let me give it.
a resolution.
Wait.
Next is Resolution 2015-2, a resolution reconsidering and overriding the mayor's veto of ordinance 2014-22, reenacting ordinance 1931, 132, 1933 for a period January 1st, 2015 through December 31st, 2015, which imposed the real estate tax, earned income tax, per capita tax, and resident tax. It was tabled on 1/6/15.
I'll present,
To vote to, no, to take it off the table.
Take it
oh,
off.
yeah, okay, I'll take it off the table.
Second.
Roll call?
Bast,
Yes.
Cassatt,
Jeff?
Yes.
This,
Okay, yes. Okay, Jeff said yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Sosar,
yes.
Mundy.
Yes.
Why don't you give me that?
Next is resolution, oh, no, we have to, that was the table. Now we have to present it.
Yeah, it's off the table, I'll present.
Second.
Roll call. On the question? Roll call.
Bast,
No.
Cassatt,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Sosar,
Yes.
Mundy.
Yes. Next is Resolution 2015-3, a resolution reconsidering overriding the mayor's veto of ordinance 2014-24, fixing the tax rate of real estate located in the city of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, for all city purposes for the fiscal year 2015, beginning January 1st, 2015, ending December 31st, 2015.
Motion to take it off the table.
Second.
Roll call?
Bast,
Yes.
Cassatt,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Sosar,
Yes.
Mundy.
Yes. Next to
I'll
present.
present.
I'll second. On the question? Roll call.
Bast,
No.
Cassatt,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Sosar,
Yes.
Mundy.
Yes. Next is Resolution 2015-4, a resolution reconsidering overriding the mayor's veto of ordinance 2014-25, reenacting the realty transfer tax provisions pursuant to Article X1D of the Tax Reform Code of 1971 and authorizing Department of Revenue of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to determine, collect, and enforce tax interest and penalties.
I will motion to take it off the table.
Second.
Roll call?
Bast,
Yes.
Cassatt,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Sosar,
Yes.
Mundy.
Yes.
I'll present.
Second.
On the question? Roll call.
Bast,
Yes.
Cassatt,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Sosar,
Yes.
Mundy.
Yes. Next is Resolution 2015-8, allocation of funds for the hiring of part-time police officers, tabled 1/6/15.
I present.
Second.
On the motion to take it off the table, roll call?
Bast,
Yes.
Cassatt,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Sosar,
Yes.
Mundy.
Yes.
I'll present.
Second.
On the question?
Yes, I believe that if we're going to hire police officers, we need to hire full-time
Is there
ones.
another question?
Now wait.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Keith.
I believe if we're going to hire police officers, we need to hire full-time police officers. I know that at this point, the case of hiring full-time police officers is, financially an issue. But just the amount of training that it takes one of these part-time officers to be able to go and do things on their own, I think that it would be worth hiring one full-time officer if you're going to hire 4 full part-time officers. That's just my opinion.
I'd like to say something. I'm in favor of hiring the part-time police officers in the interim until it gets decided if the mayor should decide to put it on the ballot. We are giving them the ability to have some help, which is better than no help at all at this present time. And I believe the part-time officers can be utilized in ways that are quite beneficial to the police department, and that's why I'm in favor of it. Right now, we need as much help, and it gives them more flexibility with part-time. With a full-time officer, you're stuck with a certain schedule. It's not as flexible with part-time, so that's why I'm in favor of it.
If I could suggest one thing. Jeff, I'm holding this on up so you can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. The reason why I'm suggesting the part-time right now, there's been a lot of discussion as to what will be and what will not be the function of what these part-time police officers will be. A lot of part-time police officers in many, many other communities perform a number of functions, and I think it's a little bit unfair to limit what has been published so far as to the extent of what part-time police officers would be able to do. I do agree that there may very well come a time, and in this primary election, that we may hear from the people of this community that they want more full-time police officers, and then we can act on that. But until then, this gives us an ability to be able to do what's right for the people in town and give them some assistance in the way that best we can afford to do. Okay? I'll pass you back to Jackie now.
I want something if you could.
Go ahead. You want to say something, Jeff?
Yeah, I think we're better off hiring anything right now. So if there's enough money to get three or four part-time officers and see how it works, then maybe the 3 or 4 people would help us down the line that we could actually see them, and it would be good. I mean, I don't think we should turn away any kind of hire right now. So I don't see how it hurts. We could always turn them into full-time if we can afford it and if it's helping. So I see no downside to passing this, just to get the motions rolling and get us some more talks somehow.
Okay. Okay, Jeff, thanks. I just have one comment on the whole part-time police. I was in Klein Township today to get my fingerprints taken for other reasons. Not that I'm a criminal. But they have one full-time, and I think he said it was 9 part-time people there, and it works. They have good coverage. They have good officers. The officers do a great job there. The community's happy. I was in West Hazleton to try and get my fingerprints taken. They have, I think, 2 now or 3 full-time, and they had 7 to 9 part-time. And I talked to Mayor Schmidt. He said it works perfectly. Everybody's happy. The part-timers do a great job. They're just as qualified as people that are full-time. Some have more experience as police officers being part-time than some people we might hire full-time. So we pull from that whole pool, even when they pick, from our, for our officers, they pull from those part-time officers and full-time. And I think the person that we just hired came from West Hazleton. I don't know if she was part or full-time there. So, I think part-time officers could help the city, and it all depends how you use them. And if you're smart and use them the right way, I think they could help the city of Hazleton and help the police force. With that, are there any other comments? Roll call.
Bast?
No.
Cassatt?
Yes.
Mope?
Yes.
Sosar?
Yes.
Mundy?
Yes. That's it for our resolutions. I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
So moved.
Motion to adjourn. Thank you, Jeff. We're done. Thank you for your vote.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience.
Okay, Jeff. Bye. Dave, go ahead. You go live. Dave, I'm not a live person. I'm dead.
You are so mean.
I'm dead to me. Oh, that's okay.
It's my opinion.
That's bullish. 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 That's bullish.